Time, the invisible current in which all of us are drifting. Every second pushes us forward, and there is no escape. We are prisoners of this flow, moving endlessly into the future. But imagine, just for a moment, if we could break free. What if time was not a one-way street? What if time was a vast landscape where we could choose to walk forward, backward, or sideways? This is the dream of time travel, from ancient myths of gods moving between worlds, to modern science fiction stories of machines that could leap across centuries. The idea of escaping time has always fascinated the human mind, but is it really possible? Or is it nothing more than imagination and fantasy? To answer that question, we must first understand what time truly is. For most of human history, time was seen as a cycle. Days turned into nights, seasons followed one another, life and death repeated in an endless loop. Ancient civilizations built calendars and monuments to follow these cycles, believing that the universe itself was circular. But modern science shattered that belief. In the 20th century, physics revealed that time is not a repeating cycle, but a dimension. Just like length, width, and height, time is a part of reality that we move through. It cannot be touched, yet it shapes everything we do. Albert Einstein, the man who redefined our understanding of the universe, once said, "The distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion." If that is true, then perhaps time is not as rigid as it feels. Perhaps it can bend. Perhaps it can even be traveled. In 1905, Einstein introduced the world to his special theory of relativity, and with it, the idea that space and time are not separate, but united in a fabric we now call space-time. This theory changed everything. It showed that time is not constant. It flows differently for different observers, depending on how fast they are moving. Imagine two twins. One stays on Earth, while the other boards a spaceship traveling close to the speed of light. For the traveler, time will slow down compared to his brother on Earth. When he finally returns home, only a few years may have passed for him, but decades may have passed for the twin who remained behind. This is not fantasy. This is physics. The phenomenon is called time dilation, and it has been proven, again and again. Take the satellites orbiting our planet. Their clocks run faster than clocks on Earth, because they are moving quickly and are affected differently by gravity. If scientists didn't constantly adjust them, our GPS systems would fail, and we would be lost in our own cities. In laboratories, physicists accelerate tiny particles to near-light speeds, and they watch as these particles live longer than they should. Time literally slows down for them. So when we talk about time travel, the first truth we must accept is this: traveling into the future is not only possible, it is already happening. Astronauts aboard the International Space Station live this reality. For them, time moves ever so slightly slower than for us on Earth. When they return, they are younger by a fraction of a second. It may sound small, but it is undeniable proof. The future is open. The future can be visited, but what about the past? Can we go back? This is where the mystery deepens. Einstein's later work, The General Theory of Relativity, suggested that space-time is not fixed but can bend and curve under the force of gravity. If it can bend far enough, perhaps it can fold back on itself, creating a loop, a path that could lead us into yesterday. Theorists have suggested several possibilities. One is the wormhole, a tunnel through space-time that connects to distant points. If such a tunnel exists, stepping into it could instantly carry you to another place, and perhaps another time. Another idea involves cosmic strings, hypothetical defects in the fabric of space-time, infinitely long and incredibly dense. If they exist and interact, they could bend time in strange ways, maybe even creating pathways to the past. But there is a problem. If traveling into the past were possible, paradoxes would emerge. The most famous is the grandfather paradox. Imagine you traveled back in time and prevented your grandparents from meeting. If they never met, you would never be born. And if you were never born, how could you travel back to stop them? The logic collapses in on itself. This paradox suggests that the universe may not allow time travel to the past, because it would create contradictions reality cannot handle. Yet not all scientists agree. Some believe the answer lies in the idea of the multiverse. If every choice, every possibility, creates a new universe, then traveling to the past does not destroy your present. It simply creates a new timeline. In that new branch of reality, your grandparents may never meet. But in your original universe, nothing changes. Both versions exist. In this way, time travel does not break the past, it builds new ones. If this is true, then perhaps there are infinite versions of reality already out there. Perhaps with every decision you make, to turn left instead of right, to speak instead of staying silent, another universe is born. And in one of those universes, maybe time travelers are already walking among us. So where does this leave us? Traveling into the future is real, though limited. Traveling into the past is possible in theory, but filled with paradoxes and contradictions. The universe might forbid it, or it might allow it through new realities we cannot yet see. But the question remains, if all this is true, can humanity ever build a time machine? Is it something that belongs only to science fiction, or could it become science fact? And if we do succeed, What would be the consequences? Would we be explorers of history or prisoners of paradox? The answers may shock you, and in the next chapter of this journey, we will dive deeper into the science and the struggles of building a machine that could conquer time itself.